Can you see me?
Not yet. Hold on.
Hmm.
Let me just refresh. Yeah, I see you're live.
All right. So hold on 1 second. So I'm gonna start at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Um, let me see something here. All right. I'm hearing you. I'm gonna enter room. Hmm. Choose. All right. Good morning, Renee. Good morning, Justin. I see that you are here. I'm just waiting until 9 o'clock in order to start. It is going to be for 1 hour exactly. Hmm. Karun, is that better? I'm trying to adjust the setting as there's a light above me I can't get rid of. So I hope it's not interfering with the live. All right, so we have 8 more minutes. If you have anything to do, I'm not gonna start till 9 a.m. Hmm. All right, so good morning, everyone. Thank you for. I'm not sure why I have an echo. All right, so my name is Antoinette Osborne. I am the voice you used to hear on Sunday mornings on the radio, 93.5 FM. Unfortunately, as you are all aware, that the station is no longer hosting our broadcasts. So I have started this YouTube channel because the main purpose is still to provide information to the community so you can be empowered, you can have knowledge whenever you are doing your immigration process. Of course, the office also focuses on divorce. We do bankruptcy, real estate, and estate matters. We also do eviction proceedings. Yes, we unfortunately we have to evict some tenants. And we have a second office in Jamaica, West Indies, where I focus on legal representation for buying or selling property, or if you are looking to wrap up an estate. Thank you for being with me this Sunday morning, taking time out of your busy schedule to participate or just listen in to be informed. All right, so this morning I wanted to focus on the 2 year green card moving to the 10 year, as I find this is a card that causes you to end up in removal proceedings if you are not doing your applications correctly. And later on, I'm going to be focusing on things that you should be doing in order to protect that card. This is an application that must be made, and you should, in the 2 years, be keeping your documentation. You'll hear me say on past radio shows that immigration does not live in your house. They are not watching you throughout the 2 years. It is your responsibility to have your documents together, ensure that you are able to produce the necessary documents when doing this application. All right, so when someone gets married and they file their process and they get the 2-year card, the reason your card is only for 2 years is because of the Marriage Fraud Act. It was a situation where US citizens, green card holders went to Congress and they complained because them didn't get used. So I'm tired. So they went, they complained, and they were just being used for the card. So as a result of which, they wanted to ensure that this used system, as sometimes you'll hear people call in and complain how they get used for a card. I am not ICE. It is not my job to report your spouse. You have whatever mechanisms available to you through USCIS fraud tools. Only can't go report them. Don't call me, say you want to report your spouse. That is not my job. I don't work for ICE. I assist people in getting green cards. But one of the things that they decided to do was, because I'm tired of the foolishness people get used, they decided they're going to implement this 2-year green card system where if at the time the card is being produced, you're married for less than 2 years, you're going to get a 2-year green card. You'll hear sometimes your friends or your family members state that how them lucky them get a 10-year card. It's not luck. It is just the law processing where once you've been married for more than 2 years, when that card is issued, you're gonna get a 10-year card. Now, for the people then who you get stuck with the 2-year card, what should you be doing? The whole purpose is to ensure that when you get married, you never get married to avoid the immigration laws. You have a really bona fide marriage. It is your intention to build together. Someone will pick up on a man in the supermarket, or they need to carry him right back or send him back to his mama because we're not building a life together. And one of the strangest things is where it is the immigrant who doesn't want to do things. They don't want to open a joint bank account together. They don't want to establish a life insurance policy because them thinks that somebody are going to kill them. The usual wise tale. You as the immigrant, it should be your responsibility to ensure that you have the documents. When you want to act like a blind Bartino, so you want to act like a Kumununo, so you don't have your necessary documents. So by the time you are actually looking to put in this application, wanna look cute, and the officer going through the file, the man is or woman, they might look for fraud. Or you can have a marriage for 2 years and you don't establish nothing. Not now going at the joint bank account, because me not trust you, you not trust me. That makes sense? No activity in the joint bank account. And what people have to realize is with these joint bank accounts, you don't have $1 million in there, but pay some bill now. Girl, make a man pay a phone bill, a car note, pay some utility now. Not now go on the account just dead like mad. That makes sense? So you have this application to make. You have to have your documents. The cuteness naga work. The meanness naga work. And one of the things, especially young people, you have your whole life ahead of you. You're looking to build life with somebody. One of the things I think you should establish is a lot of you coming from your parents' house, so everything is done for you. When you pick up a partner, you have to establish who is paying what bills, how you're sharing your household responsibilities. And this is the thing that immigration wants to see. Are you really planning a joint life together? Somehow, uno pick up these people, them are 500, but on a real man, they're outside, and that now gonna help you when you try to move from the 2-year to the 10-year. It often makes sense. A lot of you are not making sense, and it shows through your documents. You document them dead like a marriage, girl. It don't make sense. So what are you supposed to be doing? In reality, you're supposed to ensure that you have put together the necessary documentation which will indicate to any officer who is looking for fraud to ensure that he sees a viable marriage. Nobody not help you when your marriage dead. You need to fix your life. Someone no like you know life don't make sense. Me no know who I advise you. Come out of the village and fix your marriage. Married people should not be looking to single people for advice. There's a reason they are single. You can't look to single people for what am I gonna advise you? How to be single? That don't make sense. Let's get real. All right. When you're supposed to make this application, realistically, this application is supposed to be made within the last 90 days of the card. If you make that time pass, they will reject your application unless you have a good excuse. What do I mean by good excuse? Probably somebody did that there. They say you really not focus on immigration. You have different problems. Probably somebody was sick, and as a result, the focus was on health as opposed to focusing on renewing your papers. Probably somebody was giving birth and there were complications to the birth. So you really were not focused on trying to put in this application. You had other serious life issues that you were attending to. So as long as you have a plausible explanation as to why you are late, and anyone who puts in an immigration application, you know that timing is so important. You miss the time, you miss your deadline, dog me my supper. That's it. So I want to encourage you. It's the last 90 days of your card. This is what I want you to focus on. Don't make the time pass. You know, island people, no problem. Everything is not a, this is a problem. This is a problem when you're late and you don't have a reasonable excuse. Yeah. So I want you, if you get the 2-year card, you put a clock, a reminder that tells you, look, you're going to have to put in this application within the last 90 days. So what is the officer looking for? You get your application, you assemble your documents, and you think your documents nice and clean. He's looking to see whether or not the marriage is still valid and whether it's still viable. So a lot of you come in with your 1 month bank statement, not now one for you. That makes absolutely no sense. And for those of you who are joining us, thank you, welcome. We've started this YouTube channel as an avenue still to get the information out to the community. You can share the live with your friends so that they can empower themselves. If they have an application that they have to submit, it is for information purposes only. It is not legal advice. And by me being here on YouTube, this even constitutes attorney advertising. But we want to empower our community because we want to avoid the mishaps when you run go on a village and you go on a village lawyer. So we're trying to inform our community so that they can be educated in making any decisions. All right. So what is the officer really focusing on in this application? One of his main focus. He might look for fraud. Plain and simple. He's going through your documents. He is looking for fraud. Nobody no want to get tricked. Nobody no want to go through Halloween 24/7. So they want to ensure that your documents make sense. This marriage makes sense. You pick up the man at the supermarket, but you work together, you bill, yeah? And this is what is very important in a marriage. You should be building, you should be aiming for something. I've been in interviews and officers have said, all right, so what is your long-term goal in a marriage? You can't sit down there, the man asks you a question, you look like a blind Bartimaeus. That makes sense? No, you have an answer. Could be that we're saving to buy a house, we're saving to buy a car, it is our goals to have kids in the future, something. Don't go in other people them nice, good, clean place and look like on a don't make sense. Have your act together. All right. I'll tell you this. Because the applications are taking long to remove the conditions, what you'll find is people want them citizenship. Them a wait. But I'll tell you this. Your citizenship application cannot get approved unless the removal of conditions application is approved. So let's understand this clearly. If you are looking to do your naturalization application and there has been no determination on your removal of conditions application, what happens is this: your naturalization application just like a sit and it is going to just pend and it's pending and it's pending. Nothing really is happening. Why? Because them often make sure say marriage was not fraudulent. You can't benefit from citizenship if the underlying marriage is fraudulent. And this is where the officer who has your citizenship application, them just like a wallet. And I would encourage anybody, if you have this application to do, this is the application that you find often causes people to end up in removal proceedings. Because it's clear when the officer get the document and him a go through, guess what? You don't make sense. Have your documentation in order. All right. What are they looking for? Joint ownership of property, commingling of financial resources. Some man I take up some man and some woman, them nah be life with you. You can't even know how much is in their bank account. Let's get real. They're not looking to establish nothing long term with you. You want to buy a house, you're safe to buy a house. What happens? Are you want to save? Girl, boy, not save dollar with you. Yeah. Some of the men they are working on. Some of you find some good, nice, clean man. Some of the men them are sending you through nursing school. Some of them are making you go do on the CNA. Some of the men are uplifting you. And me not focus on the crosses, girl, who are calling phone. Some of these men are really uplifting you. Yeah, when you check every dollar you earn, you know, and the man see your pay stub. You know, and the man know how much money you have in the bank account. You are not depositing a dime in the joint bank account. Immigrants who are looking to remove the conditions on your green card, you should not be the one acting cute. You should be the one putting in OT. I need this to be done. You have to be very aggressive with it. Have your documents, because guess why? It no must work out. Whether immigration in your life or not, the relationship must not work out. And you cannot be looking to be prudent when the marriage is over. And if you're in a marriage and your spouse says, "I'm not file nothing with you in a girl." What? Huh? Hey! This should have been your indicator to say, I need to start ensuring my documents are in order. And you have to listen to your spouse. A lot of you live in a state of utopia. I do not know that address. I have never been there. Me a real girl. Yeah, he's a practical person. And I don't take people's words lightly. If you are in a relationship and you are depending on someone to put through this process and you are not exercising due diligence to have your documents together, and this person has told you in no uncertain terms they are not going to be filing any documents with you, Are you really gonna sit down like Patu, girl? That makes sense? No. All right, Maji, this is how it's gonna go. I'm gonna start putting my papers together. Good morning, everyone who is just joining the live. Let me know where you are listening from. You are in tune with attorney Antoinette Osborne. We are doing our first YouTube live. Unfortunately, last week it never worked out. Don't judge me. All of this is new. It never worked out. But that not stop. We are determined girl in America. So we finally get it right. We have Caron today acting as our moderator. So if any mishaps, we can just let Caron know if something needs to be fixed in the live. She's watching you. Any inappropriate comments, Caron will be removing. Be on your best behavior. Don't be unruly here. You know what time it is. All right, so like up the live. Thank you for coming. We have 52 people here and 52 people who is getting information. Empower your friends. You know that they have this application to do. Share the live with them because we like uplift people. We not bring down people in our life. We like elevate people. Make them get the necessary information. All right. Children in a marriage. Really and truly, you remember when I said, pick the now old man again? Yeah, pick the now old immigration again, girl. Make sure your documents are right. There are cases, people have kids and the kids get denied. Yes, in a real life. Why? They're looking at your intent at the time you get married. So if your documents does not indicate this, guess what got to you? Dog me supper. Yeah. And you can't say me now give you the information to build up on yourself, me give you strength. Yeah, I support more people still. All right. This application, as you know, must be in the last 90 days of the card. So you have your 2-year card, you look at the 2-year anniversary, you block off the last 90 days. It is not 90 days before the card expires, it is the last 90 days of the card. And I want to ensure that people have that clock in their head. That's it, the last 90 days. If you're late, your application is going to get rejected unless you have a good excuse. I can't encourage you enough. All right, make we look on the interview now. One of the worst things, nobody not really want going at them people. Right now with the initial green card, they are waiving, once you document right, they are waiving the interviews. Me can't tell when last me and my client go at immigration. Yeah, because your documentation must be good. You see this application, you have to remove the conditions? Yeah. Some of the application are paying a long time. Why? Because the officer not like you. Him not comfortable with you go there. The document them not right. So what? Me tell you if you put your papers together, don't. All right. You will get an interview, and I'll tell you people who will get interviews in this application. Your document them not pretty. You're not showing that you are building a life together with your spouse. Yeah? Some of you went and you got criminal convictions from the time you got the first green card. You're suspect. They want to hear what you have to say. Because if you have a disposition that says not guilty, but you go in and admit to the elements of the crime, that's a conviction for them. So they want to hear your story. Make it make sense. Just tuning in, I'd like to thank anyone who is just joining the live. As you are aware, we have started the YouTube channel in order to disseminate information to the community. Please let me know where you are listening from. Thank you for joining me this Sunday. To make an appointment with the office, you can call 718-502 9137. That's the number to call. If you want to call in on the live, if you have a question, you can also call in as I am taking questions during the live. And the number to call in on the live is 718-502-9137. We are going till 10 o'clock this morning. I am used to the 9 to 10. So we are just trying to give you information to empower yourself. If you're just joining us, please like the live. Please share it with your friends. This may be information that benefits them. All right. So someone says they're listening from Georgia. Hi, Charmaine. Thanks for joining us this morning. All right. So, people who do not get interviews, people who documents right, these are the people that you are not going to see getting an interview. They have convinced the officer that their marriage is viable. There is no misrepresentation. They are not seeking to avoid the immigration laws. The marriage real and it's viable. Yeah. Man good, woman good, everybody clean. There's no fraud. Often you'll see that these people green card come in the mail without a requisition. People who see their case pending 2 years, 3 years, they might like you. And I'm hoping during this time, once you have sent in your documents, it is your responsibility to keep putting your documents down every month. Don't think that you should not be putting in your documents. Put it down. You may get a requisition, yeah? And if your requisition does not make sense, they're calling you in for an interview. So even after sending in your requisition, what I want you to do is still put your documents together. Just in case them not like what you're sending in. Yeah, it don't make sense. So because them not like you, when I have to treat me, no know how me that say this now. Treat them like the girl who don't like you out the road. Everything you do, she just bring you down. So you know them girl that you're always ready for them. Yeah, man, you must all young people listening in, you must always be ready for the haters. Absolutely. All when you're broke and you don't have $1, nobody can know. Put on your clothes, dress nice. So that's how you're gonna treat them. You're gonna treat them like a ear to come after you. So because the hatred is coming, what you're going to be doing is you are in fact going to be putting your documents just in case them call you, boom, I have my things. Yes, what you want? Right yourself. I just saw it there. This is what we want for you. We want people to get green cards. This is a place without the legal right to work. It is rough. You get taken advantage of. Period. Yeah? Everyone should push to get legal status. It's hard for some people, especially in the 90s. Most people, yeah? Most of the men have a drug conviction and them not have no papers. As an immigrant coming into this country, the first thing you should be looking to do is to decide, how am I going to get legal status? Thank you for those of you just joining the live, listening from Lakewood. Hi, Renee. Good morning. Listening from the Bronx. Hi, Edward. Good morning. All right. So we're going till 10 o'clock, and you are welcome to call in if you have questions. You can call the same number that you would call to make an appointment. You'd call 718-502-9137. That's 718-502-9137. All right. What happens when your removal of conditions get denied? And that's why I'm telling you, tell your friends, don't play with this application. It gets serious. So you put in the application, you're waiting, they sent a requisition, you send in your response, it get denied. What happens to you next? Immigration is under directives. Yeah, can you get denied? What does it mean when you get denied? You're not on a status. Period. You're out of status. You're not supposed to be working. Don't even bother think of traveling. Yeah? And you can't live in fear. Make a dirty girl out the road no say you not papers and she not like you. Hello, USCIS? Oh, this is Punchinella and War Report, Marie. See him so? Yeah. A girl I look for sink you. And this is why we want to help people to maintain status, maintain that legal ability to work and live in the United States. No pressure. That's how we like it. So, when the 751 get denied now, backside, you're there home, you're relaxed, you're a nice, good, clean husband. Post come, that's how we call it in Jamaica. Post come now. You get a little envelope and you see USCIS. But you feel the paper and you don't feel no card. Hey! How are this for me? How about them people are right, me say? Big notice of decision. Decision for what? No, girl, I'm a card me I look for. Let's look at the procedure now. You're denied. So what's gonna happen? An order to show cause is instituted. You get your notice to appear in immigration court. This is a place no immigrant wants to be. It brings a state of depression. Me not like one day I was at immigration court and I saw this girl, and when I tell you empathy, it's like you see the life. I don't know what happened to her in court, but just I walk through the hall, I look for my courtroom, and sadness. You ever feel grief yet? You feel like the life is sucked out of a person. And it was heart-wrenching. Yeah? This is not a place you want to be. And it should be your responsibility to put yourself in a state where you're not have to go to this court. This is not the court immigrants want to. We probably want to go to a little family court because, yeah, we're going to take a child support off of you. Yeah, Junior needs to eat. Probably want to go to bankruptcy court. You have some debts that you have to discharge, and they're dischargeable. Or you're in a divorce with somebody because someone in a house who really own people, man. Fat and foul for mongoose. Some people live in that life. But I'll tell you this. This is one court. Even citizens, yeah? Immigration call your landlord. Hi, good morning. Oh, this is Officer Ruiz calling from USCIS. Is this Mr. Brown? Backside, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, Jesus. What am I calling me for? Yeah. Mr. Brown, I citizen, but Mr. Brown free of your fart. Mr. Brown, does Mary and John live at your residence? Oh! The way Mr. Brown so shocked. Mr. Brown not even remember the tenant name. You have to speak to your landlord. Let's get real. Your leases are looked at. Your rent receipts that you send in are looked at. The signatures on the lease and the rent receipts are matched. And if we don't have a corresponding signature, so now you're under fraud investigation. Not to mention when Punchy call in for you. Yeah. Now you're being investigated. How? 2 people come when they come to your house. Want to question you I want to watch you. Yeah. So, have your documents in order. So when you send it in and the officer is looking, because he's looking at thousands of applications, and he's not seeing that viable marriage. Caller, you are on the live, love. Hello? All right. I will tell you this. For some reason, I am not hearing the caller, so I'm going to disconnect. I'll tell you with this. Don't play with this application. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. I want you as immigrants, especially us from the islands, relax. Nothing is a problem. This is a problem. That's how I want you to treat this application. It's a problem. And someone want to pick up some crosses. But when this application gets denied, guess what happens? Your status is terminated. You're nobody in America, girl. Just joining in. Thank you so much for coming to the live this morning. Please rep where you are listening from. I appreciate you joining the live and share the live. Let your friends also gain knowledge so that they can help their friends and family member. The main purpose is we want to keep our community informed. Yeah, so we're gonna be here every Sunday at 9 o'clock because we are not going to stop educating our community so you can be empowered. This is the whole purpose of the live, this is the whole purpose of the YouTube channel. So now, unlike when I was on radio, now it is you can go back, you can play, you can repeat the information so that it stays. Because sometimes you hear something one time, it don't really make sense. And it's like you study for your exam. You look on the book one time, this is French, and you not study French. You go ahead, you review it, you listen, now it making sense. So share the live, like the live. I appreciate it. If you have a question, you can call in. You can call in on the live because we still want to give out the information. You may have a question which would benefit someone else, not just you, but I want you to understand we are a community. We are to uplift each other. I am all about empowering people. And sometimes you are as bright as the brightest person that you have in your circle. If you're brighter than them, go look on your friend. All right. So one of the issues is this case gets denied. You get a notice to appear in immigration court. Nobody really wants to be there. But you have to show up. Because one of the worst things is you don't show up, they make an order in your absence. It's called an order in absentia. Now, if you end up in removal proceedings because of this application, don't stress yourself. The reason being, you can apply when you're in removal proceedings. You can reapply. So don't make your village lawyer stress you out. You're hearing it from my words. You're in removal proceedings, you can apply. The problem is, if you have this application to make and you've been ordered deported, some of you don't even know that an order of deportation is against you. Anyone who has this application and it was denied, I want you to check with immigration court whether or not an order was made against you. Some of you as immigrants, we move. We don't get the mail. And we have an excellent mail service here, but it is not perfect. It is not perfect, and sometimes other people get your mail. So if you have this application and it is denied, be vigilant with your mail. Look to see whether or not a notice to appear has been sent to you. That means you're supposed to appear in immigration court. Don't play with it. All right. Now, your case gets denied. You're active now in immigration court. What do? You put in the application again. If you are in a marriage and your spouse decides to inform you, yeah, that they're not proceeding, you have your documentation, the marriage don't work out, it is unwise for you to wait till you have this application begging the person to sign and they're not, when you could have filed a divorce and put in this application. So someone said, good morning. I advised my friend not to do this, but she got married, got the temporary. After 2 years, they failed the second interview. She divorced the gentleman because of stupidity. What's her option now? She should file as a divorced spouse. Yeah. That is an option available to her. As long as she has her documentation, she can file as a divorced spouse. Yeah, that you can file if you're filing by yourself because your spouse decides he's not going to file with you. You can get a divorce and file as a divorced spouse. You can file by yourself. It's a waiver application. If you are a victim of domestic violence, you are allowed to file by yourself. If, God forbid, your spouse dies, then yes, you can file by yourself. Yeah. They also have the extreme hardship, which is a tough basis to file. Yeah. I would recommend try and fall within another of the categories. All right. So someone texted, Antoinette, you crack me up. Me not lying, you know people business. Yes, girl. And you know, say you lie, keep your secret. Back in the day, you want hear somebody business. What you gotta do? You go to courthouse. Not like courthouse to know people business. If you're just joining in, please let me know which state you are listening from. Please share the live. Please like the live. This YouTube live is still to continue to give our community information on whether it's immigration, whether it's real estate, whether it is divorce. It is still to empower this community. A lot of information does not get disseminated to us. And often the lack of information causes us to make the wrong choices. So each Sunday, I am here trying to provide my community with information. We want you to make decisions where you are informed. All right. So someone says listening from Brooklyn. All right. Kings County in the house. All right. So what are we sharing? What's required for your interview? You have an interview coming up. You're nervous as hell. And what is calming is where your spouse, the US citizen, don't worry. Yeah, you can say don't worry. I mean, them I look for send home. Yeah. So people who are married to immigrants filing this application, what you'll find is that they're nervous because this interview really breaks or it makes you. And I'll tell you, I have been in interviews where it's becoming combative now. Me and the officer argue. And me have to pull back. Because I want my client get them papers. So it is not the interview to be fighting. It is unless real foolishness are going on, then yeah, you have to go send for your supervisor. I have been in interviews where the officer has said, do you want another officer? Yes, I want another officer. Your problem. Yeah. Same so. Yeah, I'm not for request. No, girl, you're cross. Is that who sent you this morning? Do you know my enemies? I want you to. Sometimes you get an interview because you chose the wrong box. Probably you're divorced and you chose that you're filing as on the basis of death, your spouse died. Little things like that. That's why you have to be careful with this application. If you get arrested after you get the card, yeah, more likely than not, I can guarantee you, you are going in for an interview. These are the little things that will trigger the interview. So I'm trying to provide you with information this morning, how to empower yourself with this removal of conditions application, have your documentation together, try and avoid law enforcement when you know that you are an immigrant. If you are in an interview and you hear the officer asking you a question more than once, they have found something negative against you. And this is why you have to be prepared for your interview, because people take it as a simple process. It's not that simple. And you are the person who makes or breaks your interview. Your attorney cannot testify for you. And they will tell you that with spouses, unless they say that anyone can answer, if a question is directed specifically to a spouse, that spouse should answer. Yeah? This nonsense of holding hands. The streets will tell you sometimes you're all on your past information. People don't know want to hold on in them office because we don't know why you slip through between on a palm. So no hold hand, no hugging up, no over pretentious romancing. Make we put it like that. You ever chat to somebody yet and them fake? Me not like fake people. Me ignorant for fake people. Yeah, man. Sometimes some people invite you somewhere and you have to think about it. Cause probably you're not in the mood to be around pretentious people. Me a girl like that, but don't like pretentious people. Yeah, me too hardcore. A Portmore me come from. Yeah, so me not the pretentious thing. Me I pretend you. Me a girl, me not like you. You gonna know. I don't know how to fake it. But young people in life, sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. Yeah. So get your documents in order. If you get arrested, one of the first calls you should be making is to your immigration lawyer, because you need to know, yo, they can send me on for this. This is one of the things that you should be trying to decipher. You need to have families here. You have a wife here. Yeah? Even though someone want to come at my office and tell me, a long time me I try to get rid of her. Yeah, man. And when the divorce judgment come in, you would be surprised at the jubilation. Yeah, me call the divorce your new man visa. Yeah, because if I push through your divorce, girl, me not expect you to stay by yourself. Me not want you alone in life. We were not, as people, meant to be by ourselves. But one of the hardest things I'll tell you, people who are married for 30, 40 years, 20 years, 15 years, divorcing. So you tell me after me serve that life sentence with you, it done so? Yeah, sometimes it happen. And sometimes what you saw, another girl gonna reap. Sometimes the man them who are sending through nursing school. One of the hardest things I ever heard was when my client said, "You not get ready for go at the girl graduation. Cause him pay for nursing school. Want you to follow me now? Him pay for nursing school." And she said, "What are you doing?" I mean, when I put on my nice time, I come to represent. You're not on my level now, so you can't come at the graduation. You're like crazy. But this is the reality. in some people's household. This is what some people are going through. And some people see your attitude and they decide they're not processing this application for you. Nobody now give you strength. Can you get the little strength with the 2-year card? And I saw the lion paw come out. So guess what? I'm not sign nothing. Yeah. Call on Jesus. Make him sign for you. That is the reality. Just joining in, we are here on our first YouTube Live. Thank you for joining us. Let me see now. Someone said, are there certain ways that questions have to be answered when in an interview? I'll tell you this. Watch how you answer. Because oftentimes they ask you a question, them already know the answer. Some of you have been unknown to you. I'll tell you this. I went up to Albany, yeah? And the officer said, I need, other than the disposition, she wanted something else. Them already know the answer. Bear that in mind. And she said she want this from the record. When we got there, and I'm asking the clerk for the information, the clerk was like, the clerk thing said, me come from immigration. He's like, weren't you here yesterday? What is this, sir? Yeah. I said, no, sir. I am the attorney for this man who has an application before immigration. Oh, because, Antoinette, they were here yesterday. I lie. Hey! That I go on, pa, what I go on. Yeah. All right, she sent me for the document. We're coming in. She take it. She go her supervisor. I probably never did get that document. Yeah, she give her the card. Often, them already know the answer. Yeah? You then had an interview, and them a call up certain people name. Now, you know. You know, so your sideman name was not on your application. Because girl smart, girl put her husband name. Hey! When you go to the interview, them how do you know about your sideman? No, sir. Yeah. You'd be surprised at the level of investigation. You would be surprised at how thorough they are. Yeah? One of the things I want to encourage anyone who is a landlord and them call you, be truthful. We don't want you to get so nervous. We're not going to put in a tenant life in a misery. Be truthful. Provide the right information. If they ask if you sign the lease and you sign the lease, say you sign the lease. Don't tell the people then that you never signed the lease. Yeah? Because right now this open a whole bag of worms. So someone, RG, is listening from Rockland County. Yeah, I used to live in Rockland. Rockland County, big up yourself. All right, someone's here from Brooklyn. Sandra from Brooklyn, good morning. Someone's listening from Melita. Melita is from Westbury. All right, so we want to take this application serious. It is an application that, unfortunately, it will cause you, when you are looking to remove your conditions, if you do not, have this application such that your documents are right, if you get called in for an interview, your testimony is not right, you get a notice of decision. Nobody no want a notice of decision. Let's get real. Yeah? All right. So what are you required to have in your interview? If you have filed a removal of condition and you get called in for an interview, make sure that you have your joint documents. Yeah? Anyone, if you are giving affidavits from people, make sure that it is notarized. Make sure their name, address, and telephone number is in it. Because I'll tell you this, for anyone who has given you an affidavit, also advise them that they may call them. Don't just take an affidavit from someone, bring it in. And if you're taking an affidavit from someone, you and your spouse prior to any interview should be such that you have both reviewed the documents together. I'm going to encourage as a couple, you go over those documents. If you are petitioning by yourself, I am going to encourage you that you go over your documents, because any documentation that you have provided, they have the right to question you. And you can't be providing documents where you don't know the contents of it. So I've been in interviews where the officer has taken a document and they ask, so this transaction with Delta, what was this for? You better have an answer. This transaction, you better, I for your bank account, about. So it is, especially for joint accounts, you should know what your spouse is doing. All right, so thank you for those of you who are joining in. We are going to 10 o'clock this morning, and thank you for joining us on the live. This is our first YouTube live. You can also call in if you have a question. It is the same number, 718-502-9137. All right. For those of you who you have this application to make and you don't have a lot of documents, I will tell you this: the sparsity of documents triggers an interview. So where your documentation is such that it does not compel the officer to believe that you have a viable marriage, nothing is happening in the bank account, same $10 in at the checking account every month, no transaction, only thing that's coming out are your bank fees, no utilities being paid, rent not being paid through the bank account. Why? You guys have your own separate account. You don't trust each other. So kind of viable marriages. You guys can't even put monies together to pay the bills for the apartment. It begs a question, what kind of marriage this? You not work together. And some of your spouse is not working with you, because them work with them side man. Them not have no time to work with you. And any wife can tell you the girl out the road know more information on the wife than the wife who is in the house. You don't know what's going on. A lot of you are fixtures. I'll tell you this. One of the strangest things to me is when I said to a client, so what mail is he getting? You're not divorced now. Where is he banking? You don't know. Are you married? Yeah. Where is your man banking? You don't know. Where is his retirement account? You don't know. Do you live in the same house? Yes. One of the weirdest answer was, he must send it go in mama yard. Hello, mother-in-law, you little devil. Yeah. If you have this application and your spouse died and they look on that death certificate and your name is not on that death certificate, who are you? Oh, your spouse deceased. And the mama name. And some of them mama are not like you. And especially for inheritance rights, they will put the death certificate single. Cause your mama-in-law should not like you. And what if you not a picnic? Single death on the death certificate, she's the next in line to inherit. Yeah. But some girls are suffering at their marriage and they will tell you. But I am going to encourage you this morning. If you are in a marriage, you better go back in and be before that wheel in the driver's seat. There's no way your spouse should have passed and your death certificate of your spouse does not reveal that he was married. How? How is this possible? Or when you look at the death certificate, I know your name as spouse. Where? No, sir. But this is what happens when you pick them up in the supermarket. You need to build a relationship. All right, so we're coming close to the end of the show. All right, so Diane is saying some people giving you affidavit in sealed envelope. I want to nothing from you in a sealed envelope. The only thing that should be in a sealed envelope is a medical. They don't wish for you to see their financial information. Well, if it is a spouse, you guys should not be hiding your finances. Unless you're a second wife, girl, because some girl have paper about them a second wife. Figure it out, honey. All right. Someone says, good morning, Miss Osborne. Happy to hear plus see you. Question. What's some of the drawbacks of traveling back and forth whilst being a green card holder? And how long can you stay away? All right. So if you are a green card holder, you cannot be out of the country for more than 6 months. Once you are out of the country for more than 6 months, there is a presumption that you have abandoned your permanent residence. So where the problem will arise is when you are filing for your citizenship. And the officer says to you, I see that there's a gap for, could it be 7 months? And I'll tell you this, your intent doesn't matter. So they say to you, provide me with proof that this United States remained your domicile. Someone go away on working in your home countries. You're not paying taxes here in the United States. You're not maintaining an apartment. You're not paying credit cards. You're not paying bills. So you have to be careful, because if an officer, and this usually comes up in your citizenship application, if an officer is able to prove that you have abandoned your permanent residence, he's going to issue a notice to appear for you to arrive in immigration court. And to prove this, nobody wants to prove anything there. So when you're traveling, make sure that you are not out of the country for more than 6 months. All right, so it is 10 o'clock. We are going to end this live. Thank you for tuning in. We will be here every Sunday at 9 a.m. Stay blessed. And if you wish to make an appointment with the office, you can call 718-502-9137. Have a wonderful Sunday.